The microphone screeched like a wounded animal as Principal Harlan Graves snatched the gilded certificate from Joshua's trembling fingers, his face twisting into a mask of righteous fury that silenced the entire auditorium. "This abomination has no place in our school," he bellowed, veins bulging in his neck. Before methodically tearing the paper, Joshua's National Essay Award for a piece on queer resilience, into jagged confetti that rained down on the polished stage like the death of a dream. In that frozen heartbeat, as the live feed beamed the horror to every classroom TV and streaming app in Willow Creek High, Joshua felt his world shatter not with a bang, but with the wet rip of denial, his heart pounding a silent scream that echoed louder than the gasps ripping through the crowd. Joshua Rivera had always known Willow Creek, Ohio, was a town that clung to its crosses and cornfields like a lifeline, but he'd never imagined it'd crucify him on prime time. At 18, with sun-kissed skin from summers at his abuela's farm and eyes that held the quiet storm of too many unspoken truths, Joshua was the kid who painted murals in the art room after hours, dreaming of escape routes to New York or LA where boys like him could breathe without apology. His essay, Threads of Us, had won the National Youth Voices Award, a $10,000 scholarship and a spotlight he'd earned by weaving his own coming-out story into a tapestry of hope for LGBTQ+ kids in red state shadows. It was supposed to be his coronation, broadcast live for the school's Excellence Hour, a feel-good segment to pad the principal's ego before the board meeting. But Harlan Graves, a bull-necked relic from the 80s with a Bible verse tattooed under his starched collar, had other plans. He'd skimmed the essay weeks ago, his jowls quivering in disgust, and whispered to the guidance counselor about moral hygiene. Joshua's queerness wasn't news. Whispers had slithered through the halls since sophomore year, when he'd kissed Tyler Ramirez behind the bleachers at homecoming. Tyler, with his easy grin and football shoulders, had been Joshua's first everything. Stolen glances in chem lab, fumbling hands in the back of a pickup under starlit fields, whispered "I love yous" that tasted like freedom. But Tyler bailed when the rumors hit his evangelical parents, vanishing into radio silence with a text that read, "Sorry, man. It's not you." Everything, betrayal's first sting, sharp as barbed wire. Now, standing on that stage in his thrift store blazer, ironed that morning by his single mom, Elena, who worked double shifts at the diner to afford his paints, Joshua watched Graves desecrate his victory. The principal's voice boomed over the speakers, laced with that faux pastoral drawl. "We celebrate achievement here, but not at the expense of our values. This filth promotes lifestyles contrary to God's design." The words landed like punches, each syllable a fresh bruise on Joshua's soul. Cameras rolled mercilessly. His classmates' faces blurred into a sea of wide eyes and half-open mouths. Sarah, his best friend with the purple-streaked hair and unflinching allyship, surged forward from the front row, but a teacher yanked her back. "Josh!" she yelled, her voice cracking like glass. In the control room, the AV kid, nerdy, braces glinting Mikey, froze at the switchboard, his thumb hovering over the kill switch. "Holy shit," he muttered. "Live feed unkillable, already viral on TikTok." Hashtags erupted, Willow Creek horror, Tear the Pride. Joshua's knees buckled, but he locked them, chin lifting in the defiance his essay had preached. Tears burned. Unshed, he wouldn't give Graves the satisfaction. Not here. Not now. But inside, the boy who'd once scrawled, "I am enough," on his bedroom mirror felt the ink dissolve. The auditorium doors burst open then, a latecomer stumbling in, Ryan Caldwell, the guest speaker no one expected. Tall, broad-shouldered, with salt and pepper hair cropped close and a jawline that screamed Hollywood boardrooms, Ryan was the executive director of the National Youth Voices Foundation. He'd flown in from LA that morning, a last-minute pivot after reading Joshua's essay online. It had gutted him, echoing his own closeted teens in a Texas oil town. Ryan, 42 and unapologetically gay, had built his career directing indie films that peeled back America's underbelly, queer love in trailer parks, black joy amid riots before pivoting to advocacy. His TED Talk on Stories That Save had millions of views. His foundation had launched careers, including a trans poet who'd just inked a Netflix deal. He'd emailed the school yesterday, thrilled to celebrate Joshua's win in person. Graves had nodded politely, then plotted his purge. Ryan's cobalt eyes locked on the stage, the shredded paper at Joshua's feet like battlefield debris. Time slowed. The air thickened with the scent of cheap pine cleaner and adolescent sweat. He strode forward, loafers silent on the linoleum, ignoring the principal's bluster. "What the hell is this?" Ryan's voice cut through, low and lethal, honed from years of calling cut on sets where egos crumbled. Graves faltered, certificate tatters clutched like a talisman. "Mr. Caldwell, this is an internal matter." "Internal," Ryan echoed, mounting the steps in 3 strides, his tailored blazer unbuttoned like armor shed. He faced Joshua, who looked up, really looked, and felt a jolt, electric and unwelcome, like sunlight piercing storm clouds. Ryan's presence was gravity, pulling the room's chaos into orbit around him. Gently, he placed a hand on Joshua's shoulder, firm but kind, thumb brushing the seam of the blazer. "Kid, you okay?" The touch lingered a beat too long, grounding Joshua in the midst of freefall. Close, Ryan smelled of cedar cologne and jet fuel resolve, his gaze holding no pity, only recognition, the kind that said, "I've been shredded too." The crowd murmured, phones tilting like periscopes. Graves puffed up, red-faced. "This boy's work is indecent. It glorifies, glories." Ryan whirled, voice rising like a director's cue. "That essay saves lives. It's raw. It's real. It's the voice of a generation you dinosaurs are too scared to hear." He knelt, gathering the scraps with deliberate care, piecing them like a puzzle of reclaimed dignity. Joshua's breath hitched. No one had ever fought for him like this. Not Tyler, who folded under pressure. Not his dad, who'd split when Elena came out as bi. Not even Elena, who loved fierce but from a distance. Her own scars from town whispers keeping her cautious. As Ryan stood, holding the mangled award aloft like a flag of surrender reversed, the live feed caught it all. The principal's defeat etching lines deeper into his face, the students' slow clap starting as embers, flaring to wildfire. But Joshua's mind snagged on Ryan's hand, still warm on his shoulder, promise unspoken. In that moment, amid the roar, he wondered if salvation could wear loafers and a wedding band 10 line from a marriage long dissolved. The fallout hit like a Midwest twister. By lunch, justice for Joshua trended nationwide, CNN clipping the tear up into a loop that branded Willow Creek High a relic of shame. Elena called from the diner, voice thick, "Mijo, I'm coming." "Hold on." Sarah smuggled him to the roof, where they chain-smoked her clove cigarettes, illegal, but who cared, and plotted revenge in Sharpie on the water tower. "That prick's done," she fumed, exhaling smoke rings like halos for the damned. But Joshua's thoughts drifted to Ryan, who vanished post-chaos into a black SUV, leaving a card, "Call me. We finished this story together." The director's intervention had bought time. Graves suspended pending review, the foundation pledging legal muscle, but it cracked something open in Joshua, a fissure where hope leaked in, mingled with a dangerous spark. Romance? Ridiculous. The man was old enough to be, well, not his dad, but close. Yet in the quiet of his room that night, posters of Basquiat and Baldwin staring down, Joshua traced the card's embossed letters, heart racing at the what-ifs. Days blurred into a siege. Protesters picketed the school gates, PFLAG banners waving beside Westboro cast-offs with "God hates fags" signs that made Joshua's stomach lurch. Tyler texted an apology emoji salad, blocked on sight. Elena pulled him from classes, homeschooling in the diner's back booth over greasy fries, her dark eyes fierce. "You shine, Joshua. Don't let them dim you." But the betrayal festered, not just Graves, but the town's complicit silence. Neighbors who'd baked his birthday cakes now averting eyes at the Piggly Wiggly. Ryan called on day 3, voice gravelly from back-to-back interviews. Saw the clip. "You're a warrior, kid." Foundations filing complaints, ACLUs on speed dial. Joshua laughed. Brittle. "Warrior? I feel like roadkill." Ryan's chuckle warmed the line. "Low and lived in. Roadkill rises. Listen, I'm stuck in DC for a gala, but fly out. Dinner? Neutral ground, Columbus. Say. No cameras." Joshua hesitated, Elena's nod in the kitchen sealing it. "Yeah. Okay." The train to Columbus was a blur of Rust Belt decay. Joshua sketching Ryan's face from memory. Strong nose. Laugh lines like roadmap scars. Dinner at a quiet Italian spot. Candlelit and tucked away. Felt like stepping off a cliff. Ryan arrived in jeans and a Henley that hugged his runner's build. No pretension. "Call me Ryan," he said, sliding into the booth, their knees brushing under the table. A spark, ignored but ignited. Over Osso Bucco and Chianti, stories spilled. Ryan's youth, beatings in gym showers, a suicide attempt at 16 swallowed by family prayers. Came out at 22, after film school. Lost half my kin. Gained a life. Joshua shared Tyler's ghost, the essay's genesis in a bathroom stall after a slur-scrawled locker. Vulnerability bridged them, laughter punctuating tears. Ryan's impersonation of a homophobic producer had Joshua snorting wine. As plates cleared, Ryan's hand covered his across the table, thumb stroking knuckles. "You're not alone, Joshua." Not anymore. The touch lingered on the walk to the hotel, city lights haloing them like reluctant stars. At the revolving door, Joshua's pulse thrummed. "Thanks. For everything." Ryan's eyes darkened, a question hanging. Then, soft as sin, "What if it's not just the award I'm fighting for?" Their lips met, tentative, then torrent, taste of salt and red wine. Ryan's stubble grazing like forgiveness. Joshua pulled back, breathless. "This. Us." Ryan cupped his jaw, thumb on lower lip. "If you want. No rush. But yeah. Us." Back in Willow Creek, the kiss replayed in fevered dreams, but reality clawed back. Graves sued for defamation, claiming the broadcast ruined him, hypocrite's gambit, painting Joshua as the villain. Town hall erupted. Supporters chanting "Love wins." Detractors hurling Leviticus like grenades. Elena faced layoffs whispers. Sarah's car got keyed. Joshua's phone buzzed with Ryan's texts. Good mornings with LA sunrises. Late nights dissecting screenplay ideas. Your voice in my next film? Ryan teased. Joshua fired back sketches of impossible lovers. Hearts cracking open. But betrayal's shadow loomed deeper. Tyler resurfaced, cornering Joshua at the gas station. I messed up. Come back. We can fix this. Lies dripped from his perfect teeth. But Joshua saw the fear. Tyler's dad on the school board, pulling strings for Graves. It was a ploy, a wedge to discredit him. You're poison, Joshua spat, driving off with tires screaming, tears blurring taillights. That night, alone, he called Ryan, voice breaking. Everyone wants a piece of me to break. Ryan's reply, steady as bedrock. Then let me hold the pieces. I'm coming back. Ryan's return to Ohio was a media circus. Helicopters chopping the sky like vultures over fresh kill. He chartered a prop plane from D.C., landing amid flashbulbs at the regional airport, where Joshua waited in Elena's old Civic, heart hammering like a bass drum. You flew? Joshua asked, sliding into the passenger seat. No. Ryan drove, hand finding Joshua's thigh as naturally as breathing. For you, I'd hijack the damn thing. Their laughter cut the tension. But the drive to Willow Creek was a gauntlet. Reporters tailing, locals gawking from porches. Ryan waved like a conquering hero, but his grip tightened on the wheel. This town's got teeth. The Foundation's war room was Elena's cramped living room, transformed with laptops and takeout boxes. Sarah geeked over Ryan's IMDb trivia. You directed Echoes in the Dust. I cried for days, while Elena grilled him like a suspect. Hurt my boy. And you're out the airlock. Hollywood. Ryan met her gaze. Earnest. Ma'am. He's already got my heart in a vice. Joshua blushed. But the warmth spread, thawing betrayal's frost. That night, after strategy sessions, lawsuits drafted, petitions circling, they stole to the attic, a forgotten area of dust motes and old trunks. Ryan pulled Joshua close, kisses deepening from tender to torrent, hands mapping scars neither had voiced. Beautiful, Ryan murmured against collarbone, eliciting gasps that echoed like confessions. Clothes shed in whispers, bodies entwined on a quilt-starved mattress, Joshua's first time since Tyler. But here, no shadows. Ryan moved with reverence, a director savoring every frame, their union a symphony of sighs and shared breaths, climax crashing like ocean waves on forbidden shores. Morning brought clarity and complications. Ryan's ex, Marcus, a chiseled producer with a penthouse and pettiness, leaked old emails to the tabloids, twisting Ryan's involvement into predatory grooming. Headlines screamed, Hollywood predator targets teen after scandal. Joshua woke to Elena's ashen face, phone in hand. It's lies, Mijo. But they sting. Ryan paced, cursing. Marcus wants the Foundation's donors scared off. Classic spite. Betrayal's second blow. From a man who'd vowed till death, now weaponizing love's corpse. Joshua felt the fracture. Was this romance a rescue, or just another stage for Ryan's heroism? They pushed back. Ryan going live on Instagram from the high school steps, now a pilgrimage site. Rainbow flags staked like claims. This isn't about me, he said to the lens. Joshua off camera but close, fingers laced. It's about Joshua Rivera, a kid braver than any script I've read. Homophobia isn't heritage. It's hate in holy drag. Stand with us. Views spiked. Celebrities chiming, Ellen retweeting. Lin-Manuel scripting a rally anthem. But Graves' allies dug in. The school board voting to review Joshua's enrollment, citing disruptive influence. Elena slammed the notice on the table. Over my dead body. Conflict crested at the emergency town hall. Jim packed shoulder to shove. Air electric with enmity. Graves took the mic first. Voice oily. We're protecting our children from moral decay. That essay? Indoctrination. Murmurs swelled to roars. A beer-bellied deacon yelled. Send the fag packing. Joshua flinched. But Ryan's arm around his waist anchored him. Elena rose, mic trembling in her grip. My son wrote truth. You peddle fear. Which is the real poison? Applause thundered. But counterchants rose. Family values. Fists pumping like torches. Ryan's turn. He wheeled a projector. Screening clips. Not just the tear-up, but Joshua's essay read by actors. Voices layering into a chorus of queer youth testimonies. This is America, Ryan intoned, spotlight carving shadows on his face. Not perfection, but progress. Deny one kid, you deny us all. The room split, tears on one side, walkouts on the other. Joshua spoke last, voice steady despite the quake inside. I love this town. My town's heart is good beating under the bullshit. Help me hear it. Silence. Then a slow clap from the back, old Mrs. Hargrove, the librarian who'd slipped him and Sexton books. Spread, drowning the jeers. Post-meeting, in the parking lot under sodium lamps, Tyler waited, eyes hollow. Josh. Listen. Joshua cut him off. Ryan a silent sentinel. You chose sides. Live with it. Tyler's plea cracked. Dad made me. But I still. Ryan stepped forward. Voice steel. Back off, kid. He's done being your regret. Tyler slunk away, but his words lingered like smoke. You'll break him too. Old man, doubt seated, Joshua wondering if Ryan's world, glittering, gone by dawn, could cradle a cornfield boy. Their romance deepened in stolen pockets, drives to Lake Erie, where they skipped stones and shared dreams, Joshua's art school ambitions, Ryan's quiet wish for a family beyond films. One dusk, toes in sand, Ryan proposed. Not rings but resolve. Come to LA with me. After graduation. We'll build something real. Joshua's yes was a whisper, sealed with salt-lipped kisses, bodies arching under a blanket as waves crashed applause. But intimacy bred vulnerability. Joshua confessed his fear of being the inspiration, a footnote in Ryan's redemption arc. Ryan pulled him closer, breath hot on neck. You're the whole damn story. As winter gripped Willow Creek, bare branches clawing gray skies, the legal siege intensified. Graves' lawyer subpoenaed Joshua's journals, twisting private heartaches into evidence of instability. Elena lawyered up via the foundation, but bills mounted, her shifts cut after a concerned patron complaint. Sarah rallied a student walkout, 200 strong, chanting pride over prejudice as snow flurried. National eyes stayed glued. The New York Times profiled Joshua, the boy who wouldn't break. Ryan shuttled coasts, directing remotely while fielding market sabotage, donors poached. A board member resigned under pressure. One night, video call flickering, Ryan's exhaustion cracked. This fight's costing us. Josh. Me, Joshua, sketching by lamplight, felt the pull, love's gravity versus fear's undertow. Then fight smarter. End it. Ryan nodded, eyes fierce. For you, anything. The climax brewed in a federal hearing. Columbus courthouse gleaming like justice's facade. Graves, suit starched, testified with scripted sobs. I acted to protect innocence. Video played, the tear up in slow-mo, his face a study in malice. Joshua took the stand, hands steady on the Bible he didn't believe in, reciting his essay verbatim. Threads of us woven tight, unbreakable. The judge, a silver-haired woman with a rainbow pin discreet, leaned in. Son, why stay? Joshua glanced at Ryan in the gallery. Love a lifeline. Because change starts where it hurts most. Cheers erupted as the gavel fell. Injunction granted. Graves terminated. Reparations ordered. Willow Creek High reborn under interim leadership. Curriculum scrubbed of bias. But victory's afterglow dimmed with betrayal's final twist. Marcus, unhinged, doxed Ryan's address, Joshua's too, forcing Elena to board windows. Go dark, Ryan urged from a safe house. Joshua refused. Live streaming from the diner. Fear wins if we hide. Views soared. But so did threats, tires slashed, calls laced with venom. In the chaos, Tyler confessed via anonymous tip. His dad bankrolled Graves' suit, Marcus a silent partner. Double betrayal, threads unraveling. Ryan arrived at midnight, pulling Joshua into the storm-whipped yard. Enough. We're out, LA. Now. Joshua clung, rain mingling tears. And the town? Elena? Ryan's kiss was desperate. Hands framing face. We fight from afar. But together, they made love in the downpour. Clothes sodden. Bodies urgent against the truck, raw. Reclaiming amid ruin. Dawn broke clear. Promises etched in mud. Spring thawed Willow Creek's bones. Dogwoods blooming defiant pinks against the receding snow. But Joshua's world teetered on a razor's edge. The hearing's win was Pyrrhic, while Graves slunk to a consulting gig in Cincinnati. His echo lingered in boardroom backrooms and pulpit fire. Marcus Dox had unleashed hellhounds. Joshua's Instagram flooded with slurs. Elena's diner boycotted by the faithful. Pie sales down 30%, she joked over coffee. But her eyes hollowed, laugh brittle as eggshell. Ryan, holed up in a rented cabin on the lake's edge, paced like a caged wolf, phone glued to scripts from LA Allies rerouting funds. This isn't ending clean, he admitted one evening, video feed glitching over woodstove glow. Joshua, curled on his bed with sketchpad, traced Ryan's worry lines. Clean was never the point. Real is, their love, forged in fire, burned brighter in adversity. Late-night calls dissolving into sexts that made Joshua flush under covers. Ryan's voice a velvet command. Touch where I would. Visits were clandestine. Ryan slipping into town via backroads. Meeting at the old mill where rusted gears creaked secrets. There, amid wildflowers pushing through cracked concrete. They'd lose hours. Joshua astride Ryan on a blanket, hips rolling in rhythm to bird calls, gasps harmonizing with wind. Mine, Ryan growled, marking neck with teeth, possession laced with protection. Joshua arched, nails raking back, always, post-climax haze. They'd talk futures, co-writing a memoir film hybrid. Joshua's art in Ryan's next indie. A life where love wasn't litigation. Yet conflict simmered beneath bliss. Sarah, Ever the oracle, cornered Joshua at the mall food court, fries cooling untouched. He's intense. Josh. Like, save the world intense. You sure you're not his damsel? Joshua bristled, defending, it's mutual. He sees me, but doubt wormed in. Tyler's ghost texts persisted. He's using you for headlines, each ping a thorn. Elena voiced it gentler. Over tamales steaming on the stove. Mijo loves a river. Make sure it's carrying you both ways. Joshua nodded, but nights alone. He scrolled Ryan's feed, glam shots with A-listers, captions winking at new muse, wondering if he was muse or mere moment. The national spotlight twisted the knife. 60 Minutes descended. Mike Wallace's successor probing in Elena's living room, lights harsh as interrogations. Mr. Rivera. Critics say Mr. Caldwell's intervention was calculated. Career burnish on your back. Joshua's jaw set, hazel eyes flashing. Calculated? He risked everything, reputation, safety for a kid he didn't know. That's not PR. That's heart. Cut to Ryan in LA. Studio backdrop. Joshua's story mirrors mine. Millions more. If that's calculated, sign me up. Airing drew applause. Donations surged. A GoFundMe hitting 6 figures, but trolls multiplied. Deepfakes of Joshua, confessing fabrications. Marcus handiwork. Betrayal struck deepest from within. Tyler's dad, Councilman Hargrove, no relation to the librarian. Irony's cruel joke. Leaked Joshua's juvenile file. A misdemeanor for vandalism at 14. Spray painting "Love is Love" on the water tower after his first crush ghosted. Delinquent influences the youth. Hargrove thundered at a council meeting. Broadcast locally. Joshua watched from the diner, gut churning as Elena hurled a mug at the TV. That was a cry for help, not a crime. Ryan flew in furious, confronting Hargrove at his office. Security cams catching the shove. You're burying kids alive for votes. Assault charges loomed. Ryan's team spinning it as passion. But Joshua saw the toll. Wrinkles etching Ryan's brow. Sleep evading cobalt eyes. In the cabin's refuge, Joshua confronted him over whiskey neat. Fire crackling judgment. You're bleeding for me. But is it us or the cause? Ryan set glass down. Hand trembling. Both. Can't untangle. Their argument escalated. Words weapons. Joshua accusing savior complex. Ryan retorting ingratitude. I gave up my world for yours. Silence fell, heavy as ash. Then Ryan knelt. Voice raw. Truth? I fell first for the boy on stage. Chin up amid ruins. The fight? It's love's armor. Joshua pulled him up. Kiss salty with regret. Bodies colliding in urgent amends. Slow. Exploratory. Ryan's mouth charting apologies down spine. Joshua's pleas murmured into thigh. Reunion's rhythm built to shattering release. Aftershocks whispering forgiveness. But the storm gathered force. The foundation's board, spooked by scandals, demanded Ryan step back, focus on films, not feuds. He refused, tendering resignation in a blistering email. If saving one voice costs my seat, it's a throne I don't want. Headlines hailed martyrdom. Marcus crowed anonymously. Told you he'd crack. Joshua. Meanwhile, aced finals, art portfolio gleaming. Acceptance to Pratt Institute, but Willow Creek's claws dug deeper. A brick through the diner's window. Scrawled sinner. Forced Elena's closure. Time to go. Mijo, she said, packing boxes with quiet resolve. New start. For us both. Ryan proposed escape. A cross-country drive. Graduation gift turned odyssey. Route 66 in reverse, Chicago blues, Southwest sunsets. Just us. Joshua agreed, heart swelling. Prep was montage. Sarah's tearful goodbye party. Bonfire confessions under stars. Elena's blessing over Pozole. Be brave. Love bold. Tyler lurked at the edge. Final plea intercepted by Ryan. He's chosen. Respect it. As they loaded the Jeep, canvases strapped. Guitars tuned, the town watched. A mix of waves and scowls. The road unspooled like therapy. Mile markers, milestones. First stop. Indiana Dunes. Sand singing folk tunes. Joshua's head on Ryan's lap as dusk bled purple. Lovemaking on the beach. Waves lapping like lovers' sighs. Salt crusting skin. This is us? Ryan breathed. Fingers threading hair. Joshua. Post-glow. Voiced the unvoiced. What if Ella chews me up? Small-town queer in Tinseltown. Ryan's laugh rumbled. Then we spit it out. Together. Tensions simmered en route. Marcus latest. A bogus restraining order. Claiming Ryan's obsession endangered Joshua. Cops in Tulsa pulled them over. Questions laced with doubt. Everything above board. Sir? The officer drawled, eyeing their clasped hands. Ryan's charm diffused it. Road trip romance. Officer. But Joshua seethed later in a motel. Neon buzzing judgment. They see criminal, not couple. Ryan held him through the rage. Bodies seeking solace. Fierce. Almost fight. Nails drawing blood. Release a roar against the world. Deeper in Oklahoma Panhandle. They hit a queer rodeo. Cowboys in chaps and glitter. Two-stepping to Dolly. Joshua. 2 left feet shy. Let Ryan lead. Spins dizzying into kisses that tasted of barbecue and belonging. See? Worlds overlap, Ryan murmured. But a call from Sarah shattered idle. Hargrove's petition to revoke Joshua's diploma. Moral turpitude. Fury reignited. Ryan pivoted west, cutting the tour short. We end this. Back in Willow Creek, unwelcome homecoming, the climax detonated at graduation. Gym transformed. Balloons bobbing. Gowns cap and gown crisp. But undercurrents roiled. Hargrove presided. Smirk smug as Joshua crossed the stage. Diploma in hand, upheld by emergency injunction. Applause thundered, but boos slithered from the bleachers. Ryan, in the wings, filmed covertly, live to national feeds. Then Graves crashed the afterparty. Uninvited, drunk on denial, mic-jacking the DJ booth. This fraud doesn't graduate on my watch. Chaos. Pushes. Shouts. Phones aloft. Joshua surged forward. Voice amplified by mic grab. You tore my award. Not my worth. Ryan flanked him. Armory of words. America's watching. Choose history or hate. The crowd split, youth for Joshua. Elders clinging to Hargrove. Fists flew. A chair toppled. In the melee, Tyler intervened, tackling his dad. Enough. He's right. Betrayals, redemption. Bloodied lip and all. Cops cleared the floor. Arrests pending. But the feed went supernova, graduation redemption trending. Celebs decrying the redneck riot. Hargrove cuffed. Graves frog marched. Willow Creek's facade cracked wide. Joshua, bruised but unbroken, turned to Ryan amid sirens. We did it. Kiss amid flashing lights. Defiant as dawn. The riot's embers smoldered into summer's swelter, Willow Creek licking wounds under relentless sun. Hargrove's arrest, disorderly conduct, plus embezzlement unearthed in the fallout, toppled his empire, council seat vacant, whispers of reform rustling like cornstalks. Graves vanished into obscurity, a cautionary tweet storm his epitaph. Tyler, sporting a shiner from the scuffle, showed at Elena's doorstep with pie apple, humble, and an apology etched in every stutter. I was wrong. All of it. If you can. Forgive, Joshua did, not for absolution, but release, the two sharing a porch swing silence that mended more than words. Find your truth. Ty, Joshua said, clap on shoulder-sealing fratricide's end. National ripples swelled. Time cover. The graduation that changed America. Joshua's face, fierce and framed by cap tassel, beside Ryan's steady gaze. The foundation, sans Ryan, rebounded with progressive blood, naming a scholarship in Joshua's honor. Elena reopened the diner as Rivera Resilience, rainbow awning fluttering like a flag of fuck you. Sarah jetted to NYU. Last hug fierce. Write the sequel, babe. Make it epic. But for Joshua and Ryan, victory was vertigo, love's high wire sans net. LA beckoned. Ryan's bungalow in Silver Lake, a sun-drenched haven. Infinity pool overlooking palms. Walls lined with Oscars and Outcasts headshots. Joshua arrived jet-lagged. Duffels dumping canvases in the foyer. Heart a hummingbird. Home, Ryan said, spinning him into a welcome that escalated, kitchen counter christening. Counters rattling with urgency. Joshua's cries echoing off Traverton. Ours, Ryan affirmed, afterglow tangling limbs on cool tile. City life dazzled then dazed. Joshua enrolled at CalArts. Sketchbook devouring urban grit, graffiti-splashed alleys. Drag queens strutting WeHo. Ryan dove into pre-pro. Threads unraveled. Joshua's story scripted with his input. More ache, less savior. Nights blurred into glamour. Premieres where A-listers air-kissed. But Joshua's thrift blazer chafed amid sequins. Imposter syndrome whispering. Cornfield kid playing dress-up. Ryan sensed it, countering with low-key escapes. Griffith Observatory stargazing. Hands clasped under telescope glow. Or Malibu hikes where they fucked against redwoods. Earth scent mingling sweat. Conflict crept insidious. Not in shouts but silences. Marcus, exiled to New York but venomous via proxy, sued for emotional distress, claiming Ryan's reckless romance tanked their production company. Paparazzi swarmed, lenses leering at Joshua's morning runs, cradle robber's boy toy, headlines stung. Ryan's agent advised distance. PR nightmare? Lay low, Joshua overheard. In the home office amid script stacks. Gut twisting. Am I the nightmare? Ryan denied. Vehement. But the seed sprouted. Dinners where Ryan checked emails mid-bite. Calls from ex-lovers disguised as networking. Betrayal bloomed subtle. Ryan's ex-bestie, Lila, a sharp-tongued DP with a coke habit, slipped Joshua doubts over poolside rows. He's a fixer. Saves the world, then shelves it for the next reel. You his current project. Joshua laughed it off, but it lodged, festering during solo afternoons in the studio Ryan built, a sunlit garret with easels and exposed brick. Canvases piled, abstracts of torn paper and intertwined forms, love's violence visualized. One night, post-screening party, Ryan tipsy-flirty with a young actor. Platonic, Joshua knew, but the touch on arm echoed Tyler's ghost. Home. Accusation flew. Collecting strays now? Ryan recoiled, hurt flaring to fire. Jealous? After all we've built. The fight fractured them. Joshua storming to the guest room. Ryan crashing on the couch. Dawn brought regret. Coffee brewed. Apologies poured. I'm scared, Joshua confessed, tears salting mug. Of being temporary. Ryan pulled him close. Kitchen island bearing witness to reconciliation. Slow, sacred. Ryan on knees, mouth worshipful. Joshua's fingers fisting hair as waves crested. Eternal, Ryan vowed, rising to claim with thrusts that blurred boundaries. Release a baptism. Yet the rift lingered, amplified by distance. Ryan's location scout in New Mexico. Joshua's thesis crunch. Texts lagged. Calls clipped. Marcus' suit dragged. Depositions dredging dirt. Ryan's past flings. Joshua's instability. Elena visited. Sensing schisms over vegan tacos. Love's work. Mijo. Not a set piece. Her words echoed in Joshua's therapy sessions, mandated by the Foundation for Trauma Processing, where he unpacked Willow Creek's chains. Ryan's pedestal too. Climax crashed in Taos. Ryan's chute rapping amid Adobe charm. Joshua flew out. Surprise reunion turned ambush. Lila there, consulting, her hand lingering on Ryan's knee at the craft table. Joshua's arrival, dusty rental car. Heart hopeful, shattered on the sight. Confrontation in the motel. Adobe walls closing in. Her? Really? Ryan's denial crumbled under cross-exam. Old history. Nothing. But text surfaced. Flirty relics Joshua unearthed on a shared iPad. Betrayals blade. Self-inflicted. Ryan's loneliness confessed. Felt like before you. Stupid. Joshua's world tilted. Bags repacked in monsoon rage. I'm not your pause button, Ryan begged. Rain lashed. Stay. We fix. But Joshua drove into storm. Wipers slashing tears. Taos fading like a bad cut. Back in L.A. Alone in the bungalow. He painted fury. Blacks and reds slashing canvas. Unraveled mocking from the wall. Elena's call steadied. Come home. Or make a new one. Sarah zoomed solidarity. Dump the director. You're the star. Ryan's pursuit was epic. Flowers flooding the studio. Voicemails velvet please. I broke us. Let me mend. Joshua resisted. Weeks blurring in isolation. Art his anchor. Then the premiere invite. Thread screening at TIFF. Red carpet reserved. One night, Ryan texted. Talk after. Joshua went. Tux rented. Heart armored. Toronto's theaters aglow. Stars orbiting. The film gutted him, his story amplified. Joshua's essay voiced by a breakout. Tear-up scene visceral. Intervention a thunderclap. Q&A. Ryan spotlighted. This is for Joshua. My love. My lesson. Applause roared. Joshua. Back row. Tears hot. Post-screening gala. Ryan found him on a balcony. City lights sprawling. I fucked up. Lila was echo. Not escape. You're my now. My always. Joshua's walls cracked. Prove it. Ryan did, resigning directing gigs. Selling the company stake to fund a queer youth center in Willow Creek. No more saving the world. Just us. Kiss under northern stars. Tentative then torrent. Hands roaming in shadowed alcove. Zippers whispering. Bodies urgent against railing. Gasp swallowed by night. Release shuddered. Commitment sealed. But humanistic tides turned slow. Back in LA, they rebuilt deliberate. Couples counseling in Ryan's therapist's garden. Vulnerability's vines. Joshua's exhibit sold out. Shreds and stitches. Catharsis canvassed. Funding Elena's expansion. Tyler visited. Out and owning it. Bridge mended over beers. Marcus settled out of court. Silence bought. 1 year on. Willow Creek's Pride. Rainbow crosswalks. Annual essay contest. Joshua keynote. Ryan beside. From tears to threads. He toasted. Hand in hand. Love. Dramatic and deep. Proved not conquest but conversation. Human. Flawed. Enduring. Autumn gilded the Midwest again. Leaves carpeting Willow Creek in golds that softened old scars. The youth center Rivera Threads, co-named in sly tribute, broke ground on what was once Graves' vacant lot. Shovels turning soil with ceremony. Joshua, mic in hand, addressed the crowd. Dignitaries in suits. Kids with signs. Love writes back. Elena beaming beside a plaque. This isn't erasure, he said, voice carrying on crisp air. Ryan's thumb circling his palm discreet. It's rewrite. Our stories, intertwined. Cheers swelled. Confetti not torn, but tossed, raining benediction. LA life settled into rhythm, not real. Joshua thrived at CalArts. Thesis a graphic novel fusing essay and etchings. Agents circling like hopeful fireflies. Ryan pivoted to producing, mentoring queer filmmakers from a home office repurposed as The Nest, cozy chaos of white bards and wonder. Mornings started shared. Coffee ground course. Kisses over LA Times. Bodies waking lazy under duvets. Ryan's mouth trailing fire down abdomen. Joshua's moans the alarm. Best wake up, Ryan grinned. Post-bliss. Sheets tangled like plot twists. Conflicts lingered. Vestiges of past storms. Paparazzi faded. But microaggressions nipped. A casting director's edgy gay lead pitch that tokenized Joshua's input. Ryan shutting it down fierce. Authentic or out. Internally, Joshua grappled with identity's evolution. Small-town survivor to city sage. Queerness no longer secret but spectrum. Therapy unpacked it. I'm more than the tear-up. Ryan listened. Evenings on the deck with mezcal. Stars pricking smog. You always were. I'm just catching up. Betrayals echoes tested anew when Lila resurfaced. Sober. Seeking amends via email. I was poisoned then. Can we talk? Ryan shared transparently. Meeting her for coffee. Boundaries ironclad. Joshua's trust wobbled. But choice anchored. Attend. Or atrophy. He joined the cafe sit-down. Air thick with history. Lila's apology rang true. Eyes clear. Hands steady. I envied your light, Josh. Dimmed my own. Forgiveness flowed. Not forced. A thread retied. Not taught. Deeper drama brewed in family fractures. Elena announced her engagement to Rosa, the diner's baker. Hands flour-dusted and love-worn. Joy mingled melancholy. Joshua flew home for the wedding. Ryan in tow. Willow Creek's welcome warmer but watchful. Rehearsal dinner at the diner. Toasts toasting tolerance. But Uncle Tito, Graves' cousin. Grudge eternal. Sniped. Hollywoodson rubbing off? Ryan's retort. Polite venom. Sin? Nah. That's progress calling. Dance floor cleared tensions. Joshua leading Elena in a clumsy waltz. Ryan twirling Rosa with flair. Vows under string lights. Rings exchanged. Joshua's speech cracked hearts. You taught me love's labor. Shine on, Mama. Ryan's vulnerability surfaced post-wedding. Drive back to LA a confessional. Seeing them makes me want that. Rings, vows, the works. Joshua's breath caught. Commitment's gravity. Thrilling. Yeah. Ryan nodded. Hand on knee. If you're ready. They were proposal in Big Sur. Cliffside at dawn. Ryan on one knee with Abuela's ring resized. Marry my mess? Joshua's yes dissolved in salt spray. Celebration crashing waves. Naked on blanket. Bodies bronzed. Union urgent and unbound. Cries carried by gulls. Wedding planning wove whimsy and woe. Venue hunts. Napa Vineyard vetoed for Too Bougie. Settling on a Joshua Tree retreat. Desert stark. Stars infinite. Guest list drama. Tyler yes. Marcus no blocked eternally. Elena's input clashed Ryan's vision. More tamales. Less truffles. But compromise cooked magic. Bachelor Eve. Sarah orchestrated debauch. Drag brunch in WeHo. Mimosas flowing. Joshua in sequins strutting to Gaga. Ryan's night tamer. Guys poker with director pals, but a call home. Voice husky. Miss you already. The ceremony dawned electric. Joshua in linen suit. Wildflowers crowned. Barefoot on red rock. Aisle walked to acoustic hallelujah. Elena arm in arm. Ryan at altar. Eyes misted. Vows velvet. You shredded my cynicism. Wove me whole. Forever. Joshua's. From ruins. You built us. My director. My heart. Rings slid. Kiss sealed, crowd whooping. Desert wind blessing. Reception under canopy. Toasts torrential. Sarah's roast. From tear up to tear jerker. Nailed it. Dance to at last. Slow sway. Whispers of nights to come. Honeymoon in Tuscany. Villas vine-draped. Olive groves whispering. Idyll interrupted by news. Willow Creek Center vandalized. NO-fags spray-painted walls. Rage ward rest. Ryan paste terracotta. Phone ablaze. Not on our watch. They cut short. Flying back to rally, fundraisers pouring. Locals repainting at dawn. Joshua's mural rising phoenix-like. Threads of color weaving figures hand in hand. Hate's loud, he told press. Ryan's arm steel. But love's louder. Post-bliss. Life layered deeper. Joshua's novel debuted bestseller. Film rights to Ryan's shingle Meta Magic. Elena's diner franchised. Rose's Pies the hook. Tyler came out publicly. Op-ed in HuffPost. I betrayed my friend. Here's my redemption. Threads tightened. Circle widened. Years folded. Adoptions pursued. A foster boy. Queer and quiet. Named Alex. Their family forged in patience's fire. Willow Creek revisited annually. Center thriving. Graves a footnote in history texts. One anniversary. Cabin revisit lake lapping. Fire crackling. Joshua sketched Ryan dozing. Lines softened by time. Still fighting. Ryan murmured. Pulling him close. Joshua smiled. Charcoal smudging. Only for more of this. Humanism's arc bent gentle. Not utopia, but enough. Love. Dramatic in its depths. Emotional in its everyday. Romantic in its reach. Proved resilient, threads mended. Stories unending. In Willow Creek's heart. Once torn. Now beat a fuller song. Of boys who rose. Men who held. and worlds rewoven, one defiant stitch at a time.